Do you want to know how to build this, your very own Lego modular building? This video will teach you how to make your own, to add to or start your own Lego street, to play in or to display. This building will be built in such a way that you can make more and create a street, or take them out of the street super easily. It really isn't as hard as it may seem. I will be walking you through the build, and in 10 easy steps, you will have your own one of these. You might have heard of Lego modular buildings, or you might have not. They are not in those books or very much advertised, so there's a big chance you've never heard of them. In that case, I will be explaining what they are. I was inspired to make my own building, and then I thought others might be interested as well, so I'm making this video to teach you how to make your own too. From now on, I will be referring to Lego modular buildings as modulars. So, what is a modular? They can be put together into a street and are built up in different stories, like actual buildings. They are separated by layers of flat plates with an occasional stud, so the floor above will stay in place, but can easily be removed when you want to take a look inside or play. These floors are not a set height, but usually the entire building is around 30 studs high. Step 1. Now you know what a Lego modular building looks like. You have to choose what you want to build. I will be building a Lego store today and walking you through the steps while building the building. There are different sizes of modulars possible, like one full plate or half a plate. Of course, you can also fit 2 buildings into a base plate, like in the bank modular. Step 2. When you've chosen what to build, firstly you will have to lay out the build on the build plate. Follow what I do on your build plate, so the building will fit within the system. Of course, you can make differences in depth that really makes a good building come to life. The sidewalk is 8 studs wide and mostly made up of dark and light grey flat tiles. Leave a gap of 1 stud and then place a 2x1 brick with a hole in the middle, like this one. Now count 10 studs, and after the 10th stud, place another 2x1 with a hole in the middle. Different buildings have different depths, and I suggest looking at how much bricks you have at your disposal and then deciding how deep you want your building to be. This is also the moment to think of where your windows will go, then adjust your layout accordingly. Step 3. The next step will be building the ground floor. I suggest firstly building the front of the building and then continuing on the back side. The front of a Lego modular building is always the most detailed part, and the back side usually is just a stack of bricks with limited decoration, just like the sides. If I haven't forgotten to record it, you will be seeing a time lapse of me building the first floor on screen now. To really tell people what your building is, you can try adding a sign. For my Lego store, it's easy, just a Lego logo in front of the shop. For other buildings, a little brick build illustration might do the trick, or some text. If you want brick build text, like on the barbershop, I will be linking a tutorial on that in the description. Don't forget the little layer of flat tiles on top of your first floor, so you can take the building apart easily. This part of the build is often the most important part, as it starts to give shape to your building. To make your modular building look like it's alive, add tiny little details everywhere to really make it feel like there's being lived in these buildings. Don't overdo the details, that can make it too messy. If you liked the video so far, please consider liking the video. Let's continue to step 4. When you're done building the ground floor walls, it's time for the inside. For my build, I made the things you would expect in a Lego store, like the pick-a-brick wall, sets displayed on the sides, the counter, and some displayed Lego sets. It really depends on the building. I might make a video on how to make shops with Lego. In that case, I'll make a pop-up in the right corner right now. It is very important with a modular to get details in. And this is also very important with the inside. When you look inside a modular, it really makes the world feel real when there's actual stuff inside. Like here you can see the washing machines actually inside of the building. In my shop, I really put the detailing bit into action, and you can see everywhere you look, there is a little bit of detail. Step 5. After finishing ground floor, the next step is making the second floor. Like you can see on the screen right now. The second floor is made out of plates, which are connected using smaller plates on the bottom. I suggest going about this by firstly laying plates on the top of your already constructed part of the build. then turning them around and laying them on your table. Then pick some smaller plates and connect them. This should provide a firm base plate for continuing your build. And then, don't do what I did. I accidentally put my plate on top of a Lego ground plate, and it took me quite some time trying to get it off of the build plate. Step 6. Turn your newly made base plate right side up and continue your build. You may consider changing up your color palette now to give a clear sign that this is a new part of the building, and this part serves a different function. You wouldn't want to do this with a building like the cinema or the Parisian restaurant, but works really well for example the detective's office. This doesn't only apply to when there's a shift of function. In the Grand Emporium, continuing the building in another color makes sense, simply because it looks good. In the front it's easier to make than last time. I kept my design easy to really demonstrate that all you need is some windows and something to break the view up. This can be achieved by a lot of ways. Using rounded Lego pieces and with the studs not on top technique, you can make your builds break out of the regular Lego system and pop out. After this, continue your front wall to the other sides of the building. If you want to make a home there, you might want to already consider if you want a fireplace or anything else that needs to be built into the walls. Step 7. Now's the time to build the interior of the building, and depending on the type of building, this may be a home, a continuation of whatever it is on a lower level, or even a completely new thing, just like the detective's office. The topic of making furniture with Lego is a very big and complicated one, with which you can do a lot of things. On screen I will show a lot of the furniture models which you can find inside of Lego Modular Buildings, and also a couple I made. They don't need to be very fancy at all, as the function of furniture in a house is not to be very complicated. It just has to bring across the idea that this is a home. I would want to touch on this topic more, but I think this deserves its own video, which I'm planning to make. When it's done, I'll put it here in the right corner. Step 7.5. For some buildings, you may want 3 stories. For that, you should just repeat what you have done already. Step 8. Now the first and second and maybe third floor are completed. It's time for the roof. The roof can be done in a bunch of different ways. I will firstly be covering flat roofs. It really depends on your building, but for a building with a lot of rounded pieces, it will probably be best to get some rounded pieces for the roof too. For more cube buildings, it may be better fit to get a more rectangular design, like I did with my building's roof. The roof will really profit from tiny details and not being just a row of bricks. A flat roof will always have an edge that pushes a bit further onto the street than other parts of the building, so keep that in mind. For roofs or roof tiles, there are different techniques that can be applied. The easiest way is to get some of these bricks. When you connect these to a plate and add roof tiles in the form of little bricks on different levels, you'll get a really cool roof effect. Depending on your building, you can also add stuff here to break up the roof, like windows and whatever these things are on the Parisian restaurant roof. Step 9. The second last step involves doing finishing touches. Add a lamppost, a bench or an ice cream vendor, a clock or whatever details you can come up with to make your building come alive. Take a look at all of the things flashing by on screen. They should give you some inspiration to complete your build. Now, you're done building your building. I added this little detail on the sidewalk, a red carpeting, and also a lantern. Step 10. The last step. You're now finished with the building. And to give it that extra touch, place some minifigures down, go make some stories with them, and give them attributes, like I gave someone a Lego set to hold in their hands. Make what you just made come alive. Make your build complete. Congratulations! You now know how to make your own Lego modular building. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them in the comments. Let's take a look at what we just built. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more of this, subscribe. I also have a Discord server, you can find it in the description. If you were wondering why you were suddenly subscribed to me, I've changed my channel and I'm going to do other types of content from now on, like this video. I would love it if you will check out my other upcoming videos too. I have some cool stuff planned, how you can make your own Minecraft skin into a Lego minifigure, and a video about how to improve your Lego builds.